Good morning. Thank you so much for choosing the National Broadcaster. Pleasure to be having your company this lovely Monday as we start off a great week and of course a great day, continuing to celebrate the women in business, the women in their various sectors, the women in health, the women in aviation, and today specifically, women in ICT as far as tourism is concerned. Those are our guests for the day to inspire us this morning. My name is Sandra Kahunde, coming to you live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. Well, it's time for me to unveil my panel this morning. I am privileged to be having Mila Adon. She's a marketing officer at Great Lake Safaris and Uganda Lodges Limited. And of course, another guest for the day, I am joined by Karen Adongo, accountant at Uganda Lodges Limited. They'll be letting us know their right pronunciation and of course what they do. How has tourism been of great value to them, and how can you tap into the space, each and every single lady out there who's watching? I am sure you've heard about safaris, that is Great Lake Safaris, and I am sure you know what we talk about when we speak about tourism, and the women are taking center stage. You're most welcome once again to the show, and on set with me, Karen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Lily, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Fine. Yes. Something unique about you?
I think I'm a quiet person, though when you get me on another platform, I'm very talkative.
when we're talking about tourism?
Yes.
Okay, tell us more about you, that you'd love the viewer to get to understand.
Oh, my name is Mila Adon. I'm 28 years. I'm working at Great Lake Safaris. I joined in 2018 and I've been there up to now, till now. So I'm a marketing officer. I enjoy my work a lot. I'm quiet, like I told you earlier, but as well, when you find me on a tourism platform, very talkative. I think that's basically it.
Well, okay, I just moved to Karen next to me. Something unique about you, or maybe what you'd love to share with the viewer who's watching.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I firstly want to thank Amos Wekesa, our CEO, for the opportunity to be here. I also want to thank our directors, thank management for the opportunity. I'm Karen Adon. I am a twin.
And that's what the name means, the surname?
Yes.
Okay.
So I am a twin and I love my work. I joined the tourism, I joined Great Lake Safaris in 2017, but just as an intern. I was still in school. So then later on officially in 2018. Yeah, but something unique about me, I love God. That is one thing I always put in front. Yes, and yeah, I think that's what the viewers, and I love tourism.
You love tourism?
Yes.
Okay, for someone who's watching, we talk about tourism and then talk about hospitality.
Yes.
Yes, just maybe elaborate much more.
On hospitality and tourism. Hospitality and tourism is a wide sector. It's big. It comprises of both we have lodges, hotels, we have parks, we have different organizations as well that work with the sector. So all these are things that are entailed in the sector. Maybe Billy can have an addition.
Billy can
yes,
add a voice
bigger,
the bigger picture when it comes to hospitality itself.
Hospitality, basically, it's based on maybe the hotels and the lodges. At Great Lake Safaris, we have lodges which are in the different national parks. These provide accommodation to the different tourists who are coming into the country and visiting the parks. So we give them where to stay, what to eat, and generally accommodate them during their travel with us. In Kampala, we have a range of lodges. We have the Serenas, the Sheraton. So all that is hospitality. Then also restaurants are also part of the hospitality. So basically that is hospitality for you. It deals with accommodation, food and beverages.
Well, for the viewer who is watching, it is broad when you talk about tourism, but
Yeah.
my ladies for the day specifically focusing on hospitality, and that is their main field. If you're out there and you're a lady, you also want to tap into this industry, as we share more from them. Mili, how did you get interested? Joining. How did you
Joining.
Yes. Picking up interest, and you're like, yes, this is where I need to be. I need to join the hospitality industry.
I think at first when I was young, I didn't really have I'd never thought about it until when you finish your Form 6, then you have to fill in these courses. You're like, I think I can do tourism. So I went when the passion was not 100% like it is now, but then it is something I grew to love with time. So I did the course at Makerere University for 3 years, and then later I joined Great Lake Safaris and Uganda Lodges. So from then, I don't think I can work in any other sector apart from the hospitality industry. It's something you enjoy every day. Yes.
You're well put.
Yes.
You're meant to serve in that direction.
Yeah.
Well, beautiful. Just hearing from Karen, how is, your path?
How?
Yes.
I did not do tourism. Amazingly, I did a bachelor's in business administration in MOOPS, Makerere Business School, and that was for three years. And but the fact that I got an opportunity to train, it was just training, internship, and mainly that's why you see I work in the finance department, and it's mainly majorly finances. But how do finances come into hospitality and tourism? Finances work in every department, they work in every department and in every area. So that's how I got involved, because the tourism and hospitality has that financial sector. It got me in that area. So that's how I got involved in the tourism.
So when it comes to your position,
Yes.
it derives from that particular journey.
Yes, it's a journey, because it was an opportunity I got immediately I left school. I said I joined Great Lake Safaris in 2017. It was actually 2 weeks. It was after exams. I was like, I was just home, and then my dad was like, there's a place you can just train instead of just being at home, literally. So I was like, okay, I'll go. So I went 2 weeks, literally you're doing paperwork, stuff like that. But then you get involved and get interested. So through the working with, I majorly worked with the finance department, but in there I started to learn more about tourism, what the tour sales department is doing, what the marketing department is doing, how are we marketing tourism.
Is it fulfilling, the journey all through? Because I know at times we get stuck into one corner. You're like, this is what I studied and I need to do this. You hold on and wait, you chill at home, by the way.
I know, but this is all round. Even if I am in the finance department, I am learning more. I'm understanding marketing. Like, how is she marketing? Because if you don't market, we will not get the finances. So I have to understand how is she doing the marketing. So I have to learn.
Something that someone has to take on. If they are into the hospitality industry. Not being stuck into one position or one direction.
You have to. I had to learn Mili's work. Like, how is she doing? How does she do the social media things? Because if you don't market, if our CEO is not going out to talk about tourism, we will not receive the finances and the books and checks and balances I am working on. So I will still look at her work. Then the tour sales department, they sell the packages. We have the lodge section, like they reserve the reservations. We have 4 lodges. Yes. So they do the reservation department. You also have to learn, because in there, if you don't learn what they do, because in what they do, incoming is coming. So for me, in my section, in my department as an accountant, or my position as an accountant, I had to learn that. Because if I don't learn what a reservation person is doing, how will I do the balancing of the money that they are bringing? Because they will sell the lodge, but I will have to receive the money for the sales. You get? So I have to know, so that interest that came in. I had to learn everything. Even if I am majorly an accountant, I had to learn that. So
Must
that
really be
got me
interesting
involved
along the way
in
and
everything.
exciting.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. I love that experience. Anyway. Well, Millie, you also do a lot. You engage with the clients at different points as you carry on with your day-to-day work. Which aspect would you cite out when it comes to dealing with the customers that is most fulfilling in this hospitality industry?
I think for me, it's the moment you sell to somebody and then they finally book, you see an inquiry coming. That is the most fulfilling thing. Because when somebody
regardless of where they're coming from.
Yes.
Or you only concentrate on honeymooners?
No, everybody.
I'm just kidding.
So when you sell to somebody and then they send an inquiry that I want to take this, I want to book this, that is the most fulfilling part of my job. It makes me so happy. And I be like, I've done my work. But I enjoy every aspect of it, but that is like the best. At least I know that I've done something and there is value for what I've done. And then also like sometimes when we send out, like, let's say posters, and then we send newsletters out advertising our products, then actually we get good feedback. I like that a lot because it shows that first of all, we are doing the right thing, and then people appreciating what we are doing. Yeah, that is what I enjoy most about my work. But I also like meeting new people when I go for these trade shows. Like we had Poate here at Munyonyo, I think in April. I got to meet so many people. There's a big network of people you meet, you build relationships from there. So you never know what happens tomorrow.
Please tell me many of them are women.
Yes.
The ones who walked up and attended.
Actually, most of them are women. We are seeing many women take up many jobs in the tourism industry. Some of them have safari lodges, some of them have tour companies, and they're successful, up and running. So like when you meet them and then you share your stories, it is something fulfilling. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I'm off to Karen, just getting to know what is really fulfilling
In my financial bit.
Yes.
What is mostly fulfilling is seeing revenue come in. Because the truth is, if you are in the finance department, you work on money, incomes and expenses. How are you spending the money? So the most fulfilling part is when you beat your targets. But remember still, the finance is like a central bit for a company. It can't stand alone. You won't have money to count if they are not working. So the fulfilling bit for me is to see the incomes coming. Those ensure that your records are well put, because when you do that, you are heading for right analysis of finances. And then also when the most fulfilling part also is to encourage and support the other departments, because we do support. We work mainly back. We are the behind scenes of the other departments. When they need money for like the trade shows, you have to be there for them. When you need money for a trip to happen, you have to be there for them. So that is where, because if we are not there, we are behind them. You don't see us always, but we are behind, pushing. Like if the guides, we know the guides come in and they're getting money to go for a trip. The people working in the garage, you know, when they need money for spare parts and everything, you are behind them. So that is fulfilling, because the more you see yourself,
you push them
help,
and you push the product,
yes,
and
to
it works
on
so
time.
well.
For if they asked for money for a particular event, it should be there on time. It should be worked on time. If maybe it's not going to be there on time, then you see how to work with that. It's more of a flexible. I have to make sure.
Let's move to that bit. Let's move to that bit where you really have to push not to drag them
Yes.
when it comes to the services, especially the tour guide, someone
Yeah.
who's waiting
Yeah.
and they have to go the early morning. They're like,
Yes.
whether it's rain or sunshine,
Yeah,
I'm
they
supposed
have to have
headed.
the trip. They have to pick that. They have
Yes,
to
I'm
pick
supposed
the.
to be onto the game drive,
Yes.
and I don't see anyone coming to me. So how do you handle such unique challenges?
Like when they need the money immediately.
yeah,
So
in
what
your field.
happens is we ensure that every department submit their requests on time. Like if you have, so what they do, we have schedules, to trip schedules. It comes out in the beginning of the month, so you know that the trips are happening. So that's now every department is working on that. So when they bring in, they ensure, we push to ensure that they bring in the impress for the trips on time, so that you can look at them on time and process them on time, so that when the guides come, there is money. But also we have incidences of where it is like an emergency, or it is a last minute booking. How do you work with that? Because the other one is easier because you've planned it, you've what. If it's a last minute meeting, you still find a way. you can't lose business. You cannot lose business. You have to find a way.
So at some
to
point,
have that work.
at some point, you find yourself being on your toes.
Yes,
In the
yes,
hospitality business.
especially in high season.
What is the high season?
We have
Because
high
we have
seasons,
high seasons.
and low seasons as well. Like when the
When there are
tourists are coming in
many
more.
public holidays?
No,
Or
it's
the,
not like
the
that.
festivities coming.
I would love
coming
you
in.
to highlight on that more, the high and the low season.
The high season is when we have many tourists coming in. I think it also falls in the time when the international tourists have their summer holidays. Like we have high season starting from June, running up to the end of September. Yeah. And then October, November, we go into the low season.
Yes.
And then December, January, and Feb,
is
that's
high.
another high season. And then we have March up to May, that's a low season. Low season is when the number decreases a bit. I think basically when they're looking for the money to spend. to spend.
When they're busy serving.
Yes.
And at that particular time, what really covers up? Is it the domestic tourism that takes center stage at that particular time, or?
During the low season, since the rates, the accommodation rates are low, we reduce the rates, the accommodation rates. So at that time, that is when you encourage Ugandans to go and visit the parks as well.
That's when you have to do a lot of summons, eh?
Yes. So that is when you encourage the locals, please. That's also when you have our Easter holidays. So basically, it's more affordable during that time for like a Ugandan. Because during the high season, we have the lodges are fully booked. There are so many safaris going on. So like chances of you visiting those places is really low because we have a lot of internationals coming. But then during the low season, it's a bit quiet. You get the time to go there. The lodges are more affordable. The activities, of course, they remain the same, but still, I think basically the money bit of it is more affordable during the low season than during the high season.
And what are the locals saying? Is it because you charge in dollars? What could be the main issue?
For charging high and low, we charge in dollars because first of all,
I think that's how you end up chasing them away.
But we also use the UGX.
We can convert to UGX as well. The dollar just makes it easy for us to sell because you know the exchange rate keeps on fluctuating every now and then. So we just put it in dollar to make it easy for us to sell. Like for example, at our lodges, we have we run a $200 for Ugandans every low season, and I would like to send this out to all Ugandans watching the show. During the month of October and November, please visit our accommodation facilities. They are going to be very affordable. We have lots in store for you. Low cost, and yet there is value for money for it. So you might see that dollar, but $200, you think, oh, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, but trust me, it is worth it. Yeah.
So we visit the website?
Yeah, we have a website, www.ugandalodges.com. That's where you can find our lodges. And you also have Great Lake Safaris, www.greatlakessafaris.com. So we shall put all these packages on our website. And besides, follow us on social media. We also post on our socials as well whenever there is a discount. Yeah.
Okay. What I also realized that there has to be teamwork.
Yes.
Like Karen earlier on put it.
Yes, yes.
She had to really learn
Yeah,
what you
I
do
had to.
with the socials
Yes.
and all that, which is also very good, the teamwork in hospitality.
Yes.
What are some of those memorable highlights that you could cite out when it comes to teamwork or in your experience?
From my experience, there's a time when you're really busy during the show, when you're preparing for a show, you have this and that. Mainly if it is outside Uganda, you have a lot of things to prepare for. Like you have to get a visa. Of course, you need the money for that. You have to book your flights. So finance really helps us a lot. You have to go to them. They help you to avail you all this money to book for that. And then also we have other departments like the fleet that covers transportation. They'll come in to provide you with everything necessary to make sure you're covered for that. And then of course we have on the side of the lodges, we have the people on ground. There is somebody serving the guest. There's somebody organizing the room, housekeeping department. So like all this, there should be a lot of teamwork to make sure that the guest, at the end of the day, the guest has a very good experience. Because let's say your team is not well organized at the lodges. You have a guest coming, the housekeeping department has not done their work, the service department has not done their work. At the end of the day, we all lose. So you make sure you put your team together, make sure everybody is following the SOPs, ABCD, and then like at the end of the day, a guest will leave satisfied, feeling that they've been well taken care of. So that is what we usually do at our lodges. We encourage everybody. If, for example, it's time for lunch and then you're serving the guest meals, if I'm a housekeeper, I should not just concentrate on housekeeping, laying the bed, keeping the rooms clean. If you see there is a gap somewhere and somebody needs help, you always step in to help the person. That is what we always encourage them. So if Sandra, one day you get to visit our lodges, you might bump into somebody who is working in your room, serving, ending up serving you. So don't think like, oh, what does this happen?
Teamwork.
It's teamwork at the end of the day.
Hey.
Or even me, if you find me at the lodge and then I come and serve you, it is teamwork
It's all
at the
about
end
hospitality.
of the day. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'd love to be there.
Shall be waiting for you.
Just moving to Karen. Some of the memorable highlights when it comes to teamwork.
For me, it's the time when I was still working as the cashier before I got to be the accountant. It's always so hectic during high seasons. So memorable for teamwork is to have them give me their requests on time. Because if they don't give me on time, then there will be a workload on my side. So for me to have them, like they can call. So if in case there's an emergency, they would tell me, you know what, Karen, there's something coming in, but we know it's late. It's going to come in a bit late. So that place of where they call me to tell me it's coming in late, that's it helps. It's memorable for me, that teamwork, and it helps me work well. Yeah. Then the other part of something that's very memorable for me in my position as an accountant is when the both departments give their reports on time. It eases my work. I can start on working on the reports on time. Now that we have FRIS, we have to enter our invoices to the Uganda Revenue Authority system, and earlier before you could just enter them in our normal system, our accounting system, and you're done. But now it's double work. So you have to create the other invoices, and you have to also enter them in the Uganda Revenue Authority system, which is called FRIS. So when they bring those reports on time, I am able to work on them on time, and that teamwork for me, like to call me and tell me, like the reservations manager always calls me and tells me, you know what, Karen, I have sent you this, but this will come in, like if it's going to delay, they will tell me on time. So that teamwork for me is it's memorable for me because it helps me and I'm able to be effective. Yes.
Well, for the viewers still following this particular episode, good to have you accompanying. If you just joined us, you're most welcome. We have this series every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, celebrating women in their various spaces. My name is Sandra, and we are live from a broadcast house on Nile Avenue. If you just joined us, just letting you know our guests for the day. This morning, I'm joined by Mila Adon, the marketing officer at Great Lakes Safaris and Uganda Lodges Limited. And of course, next to me, that is Karen Adong, accountant at Uganda Lodges Limited. They're sharing the insights when it comes to hospitality. If you're a lady out there and you want to tap into this particular space, what you need to do. And they've been sharing how important teamwork really is. And I want to find out what strategies do you use, because I know she meets lots of people on a daily, Mila, in your office. What are some of those strategies that you use to create a welcoming and inclusive environment for your guests and clients at the end of the day?
First of all, for me, I'm a neutral party. I speak on behalf of Great Lakes Safaris and Uganda Lodges. So on the part of Great Lakes Safaris, we make sure that first of all, the vehicle is in the best mechanical position. And then our guides are very knowledgeable. So the guide is the one who is going to be with our clients the rest of the trip. So make sure you pick the very knowledgeable guides to accompany these clients on their safari in Uganda, around the country. And then we also have, of course, I talked about the vehicle. We should not be having, of course, breakdowns. That is a very bad experience for you to have on a safari. Imagine you're driving from here to maybe Kasese, and then the vehicle reaches in return and breaks down. So we make sure that is in place. And then also the accommodation we book, we make sure it is of high standard, to make sure that the guests enjoy their stay there overnight wherever they're staying. Then of course we select the best activities for them to do. Not so boring, not so tiring, we make it interesting. So basically that is one of the things we do to make sure they enjoy the experience on the side of the safaris. And then the accommodation, when they're staying with us at Uganda Lodges, we make sure all is in order from the time they arrive to the time they check in to the time of they're having their meals until they check out. So usually we brief the lodge managers and the staff. Make sure hospitality is all about, you don't have any bad days. You make sure it is every day is a good day. You're supposed
to be energized.
Yes.
You as yourself.
Yeah. Every day should be a good day for you. So that is what we encourage our staff to be. Polite, talk politely, always be there for the guests whenever they need you. And then in case you make a mistake, it is good to apologize. Admit what you've done and then you apologize. And make sure you make up for it, of course, with time. So at our lodges, we have, I think, did I mention our lodges?
Please do.
So we have Elephant Plains Lodge. It's a luxury lodge in Queen Elizabeth National Park. And you have Primate Lodge in Chivale. It's also luxury. Then you have Simba Safari Camp. It is mid-range and budget. Then we have Budongo. It's currently it's mid-range, but you're upgrading it to a luxury. I think within next year shall be up and running to be a tented camp. So then you also have a luxury boat. It's called MV Kazinga. It's along the Kazinga Channel. So like we make sure that when somebody is going to Elephant Plains, they have the luxury experience. When you're going to Simba, it's budget, but we make sure that you enjoy your experience in every way. It's not like I've paid little, let me receive little. We make sure that we fulfill whatever there is value for money for whatever amount you have paid. So like it's basically about briefing our client, our guests on what to do, ABCD, and then they implement it. And we have very good service. I think we have the best food in the areas where our lodges are. I think the people who have been there can testify. We have the best chefs, we have the best service people, very knowledgeable. Our rooms are luxury, they're the best. We have the most comfortable beds, I think, you can sleep on. Sandra, you should visit Primate Lodge. I swear you'll go back like even 10 times.
The way you explain, I'm just imagining and thinking about it. So if you're planning your holiday,
You should. So, like, we make sure that
I'm trying to think, elephants or Bodongo, where should I go first? The more you explain it.
I think if you like a forest experience, then definitely Primate Lodge.
Primate Lodge, which is in Chibale.
Yes. And then if you like the savannah.
To watch the big five.
Yes, there you go to Elephant Plains, of course. Yeah.
And the luxury and the budget bit. There's that bit that you explained. Karen, would you love to add a thought to what she's been explaining? That is to do with the strategies that you put in place to handle the clients and the different places that she's been citing out.
I'm looking at it in two ways. Like, should I give you the internal strategies or give you the external strategies? Because for her, she has...
as long as it contains a conducive or inclusive environment, a welcoming environment for the client.
Okay. So some of the, as she said, some of the strategies that we put in place to ensure the vehicles are running well. I will not go back to, I don't know if it's okay to go back to the financial bit to ensure that the vehicles are up and running and are good. We have a good team of people that work in our garage. They are very, very good, and they work on these cars to ensure that they're fit. Still, that is one of the strategies. And then the other one is to ensure the checking of what we have in the lodges, especially in terms of the linen, the things that are used, the items used. Those are all strategies. Like now for the luxury lodges, Primate and Elephant Plains, we ensure, because what the items that are used in those places, they are different because it's luxury. So the quality is a bit high, a bit better than what would have been used in. Yes, so that also enhances the experience, so it helps. So we ensure that what we use, the quality, even the color, everything.
The ambience.
Yes, it's the colors used, the curtains, that adds, it does boost an experience. For example, when for the first time when I went to Primate Lodge, after like it had been upgraded from the standards to the luxury, the interior, like still as Millie said, you should come to our lodges.
It's better to have a feel when you're on
ground. So it was very nice, very quiet, very, if you love spaces if you love silent areas, like you don't want noise, you want to be away from the noise of the city, Primate is an added advantage. You can't go. It's so, everything is put together. So the interior, the ambience, that is another strategy that also would make someone book. Because some clients actually will call and book. They'll come straight for luxury. There are others who will come, I want budget. So you see, it's so depending on everybody. So that's also a strategy, yes, to add on to what Millie was saying.
Okay, well, right here on the show, we do celebrate the women in ICT, and at least in every sector, there's the way they've incorporated ICT in their today work. When it comes to your field, hospitality and tourism itself, how has the technology impacted your day-to-day work, or maybe to the clients themselves? I know it's supposed to be a different experience each and every single time, so that they keep coming back again and again. Yes, how has a technology helped you?
I think from my marketing perspective, it has eased our work, like digital marketing. Nowadays we have so many social media platforms to market on. We have the Facebook, the Instagram, we have TikTok nowadays, which you can use. So it eases our work to reach out to the people, like our potential market. And then also in a way it has helped us to get feedback, online feedback from our clients. Like for example, we have a TripAdvisor. That is, I think that all that falls under technology. We have TripAdvisor where our clients give us a review, after their stay with us. So it helps us to follow up on whatever experience they've had at the lodges, whether it's good or bad. So in a way, it eases the way we reach out to our clients. So, and then social media, of course, the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it helps us in advertising. So for me as a marketing person, it has really eased my work in advertising in that perspective. That's, I think, the general thing I can talk about. Then you also have like the emails. Then we have to, when you have to send out like updates to about whatever is happening at our properties or with a safari company, we can always use those platforms, those digital platforms, to reach out to our clients, whether potential or they've stayed with us before. So in a way, it has bridged that gap between our work and then the people we are selling to. Yeah.
Okay. You want to add a voice to it?
Yes.
Okay, feel free.
So also, she has given us the marketing perspective. I'll give you the finance perspective. Payment has been made easy. We banks have systems that they have created that help to make payments easy. Someone could be in Europe and they want to make payment. They can be in America, in any country. So when IT has enabled it in a way that we can just send a link that directs you to the procedures to the bank, because when you go through the procedures, it will tell you, put in this, how much are you paying, what, and then the money will directly come to the account. So we do not have to go through, you know. So payment has been made easy with IT, and yeah, IT has been a very, as opposed to having cash, you get. So most times it's okay to have the money in an account as opposed to having it in cash.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, for someone out there who's watching, maybe they've been inspired and they really want to stand out and shine and get into the hospitality sector, listening to what Mila has shared and Karen right on this platform. What skills can they use to have a successful career when it comes to hospitality? Something that you love to share with them.
I think it all starts with passion. From the first thing is having a passion for what you're doing, what you're going into, and then always be open to learning. Like that is what our CEO has always encouraged us to do. Like if you're working in accounting, make sure you learn something somebody in marketing is doing. Don't just stick to accounting. Make sure you learn something out there which is not within your comfort zone. So it encourages us to check out other departments, what they're doing as well. So like anybody out there, if you feel like you have a passion for hospitality, you can go and volunteer, I think, at a hotel, see how they serve food. Okay, those basics, at least a front office, see how they serve food, see how they welcome guests. You never know what the opportunity for tomorrow will be. So like always be open to learning. And then also it's good to interact and network with people in the industry. For example, we always have open days. UTB always puts out open days during the tourism expo. The one in, I think the last day for Poate, we had an open day for Ugandans, or they make it affordable, 10,000. You can go and check out what Uganda has to offer. We have so many things that has been untapped. We have over 10 national parks. Have you visited any of them? So like you can always go and learn about it, and also you can save and visit these places as well, because experiencing something gives you like a wider view of what it is than what you just read in books. So visit the places, go and check out what is there, go and have those experiences. Never know. It can start from there. Even if you don't have a passion for it, passion can grow over time. You can develop it. So basically, that is what I can tell someone out there, a woman out there, who would like to join the hospitality. And then also, don't let like your womanhood limit you from going into the industry. Some of us are working mothers, but we are here. We are not limited by that. So just go out there. Nowadays there is nothing like this is what a man can do, this is what a woman can do. We can do everything, apart from of course the natural one, but everything on this world can be done by anybody. It's just you to go and start on it. It starts with one step at a time. Yeah.
Wow, that's a great submission. I'm still thinking about it. But anyway, we salute the men as well who do support us. So it's more so your CEO out there who lets the women shine.
Yes.
Okay, Karen, just moving up to you. What are some of those skills one should get to use on a daily, or maybe be closer, make them
to the hospital
when it comes to the career itself?
As in tourism or
hospitality?
In hospitality.
Yes.
Wow. Like as Mila said.
Because your story is quite unique.
Yeah, because
you landed safe. Eh? You landed safe.
Really, I would encourage. It's an open space. It can accommodate everyone. If you're marketing, if you're in finance, if you are selling products, you're selling books, we need still stationery. So I'll put it in that place. For the traders, people who trade, what can you supply the lodges? What can you supply hotels? If you are a farmer, you are directly involved. It could be indirectly, but still you're supplying food, which the tourists are going to eat and enjoy and have an experience. So if you aim at, can I supply the hospitality industry? If you sell books, we need stationery. You know, don't stop at it. Don't just say, oh, I can just sell to the schools, the what. It's still a skill, but indirectly, it's still going into hospitality. So it has departments as well. So I feel like everybody can tap into it, as long as that if you see there's a need, you can fit. So it's more of an all-round kind of person. So you can be involved anywhere. You can help. You can still fit. So for me, I feel like everybody can fit. In this, we have procurement departments. So the procurement, they buy things. So how do you tap into that? So has anybody working everywhere who supplies items, do not just say, oh, I just supply this to schools, or I supply this, but how can I tap into this? When you bring your quotations and you see, it still opens up. If you have quality things, there is soap. Soap is purchased. It's used often. Like that is still broad. Like I will still say, it's a very broad thing. We purchase many things that are used daily in these lodges. So everyone can. If you are interested and you have a passion, you could start by tapping into those areas. Maybe it will grow after you've learned what they do. Oh, now you're supplying the lodge, maybe in Kivale. And then you say, maybe I can explore and be a forest guide. It's an opportunity has opened. So it starts from, can I still find a step to, it's just start from where you are, what you have. It will still get you. If that is a passion of where you're going, then channel that skill in that direction. Yes, for me. Yes.
What Karen has said, it's not just basically the facility that you're looking at. She talked about the food, and then also we have the interior designing perspective. Yes. These lodges have to be designed. So if you're an interior designer, can you do the job at the lodge? Can you supply us with the artwork or something like that? The seats, the beds, all that, the furniture. So it's very broad, really. Yes. And then also there are souvenirs. We need souvenirs at the lodges. People do African craft. Can you sell these to the clients who are going to the lodges? So you can tap in different ways and get involved as well.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I believe the person who's watching has been inspired. UBC is all about inspiration, and good to know you're still watching this very episode. Few minutes to the top of the hour. We're always here from 10 a.m. up until 11 a.m. Before we let the guests go, just a few a few insights more when it comes to our talk of discussion, that is hospitality this morning. Earlier on you did share the luxury bit and the budget, but at least each and every package, the guest out there has to be well taken care of, regardless of what they're offering, regardless of what you're offering unto them when it comes to their budget, because that's to be value for money. How do you strike the balance to the high standards? And because I mean, there has you have to adopt to the guest preferences at the different seasons you've been talking about. You call them the peak, the highs, the highs and low seasons, because we have a few months to go to the festivities, and someone out there could have already served their money and they're good to go. So how do you handle that balance of the high standards and adopting the guest preferences?
She talked about quality, I think, earlier. So the quality of the linen you'll get at the budget accommodation is different from the one in the luxury. So, but all in all, we provide value for money. We make sure that it's, I don't know how I should put it, but like, let's say if you're visiting our lodge Simba, you already go that it is a budget lodge, but then the quality of the services you receive from there is of course good, but of course elephant planes will be better. But then we play around with some of the things like the menu.
Unless you be closer to the big five in the savannah.
So we shall play around with the menu and make sure it's not too budget. Okay, it's something that will give you value for money. It's like buying, let's say, Sandra, there is juice for, let's say, juice minute made for 2,500, and there is some other juice which is like 5,000. So like all of course the taste will vary, but still you'll be satisfied at the end of the day when you take either of them. So like when you go to Simba, it's not that you're going to receive the worst services because the money is little. So we shall play around with the money, with the menu, and make sure we give you.
You manage the secret ingredient very well.
Yes. Yeah, both for breakfast, lunch and dinner. And then also the quality of the furniture in the room. Of course it is not so basic as well, but it is something comfortable. The linen quality is something comfortable. And then of course on the safari side we shall put some of the activities optional so that you can pay out of your pocket, but still at the end of the day we shall take you there and tell you there is A, B, C, D. If you want to do this, you can pull out money from your pocket. Okay, that is just the selling bit of it, but at the end of the day, we shall all have the same experience.
Okay, the lady right here in finances. Will someone still have full board? Regardless.
Maybe I would love you to go repeat the question for me. Yes.
Balancing the guest preferences, because everyone has to, you know, enjoy, like she's been putting into different packages they're looking out for from the different lodges. Yes.
Well, as we said, on the finance bit, the luxury will of course be a bit expensive. Okay, it is, you really see, you tell you it's a bit expensive, but if you want that, because it comes also with quality, what is offered to you is quality. When you see it, you will thank yourself later that I actually booked for luxury. It's not that, as she said, that for Simba that you have actually different, or still it's still good, but I would say the other one is better. Okay, that would be a better variation. It would be better. Why? Also on how whatever is used, still I go back to quality, so that you balance up. If you paid maybe $500 for the place, and you receive the service and its quality, what is served to you, even to the smallest detail of the spoon, the fork that is used to serve you, will give you that experience. It will give you that satisfaction. So still, that balance is there. You will still have your experience depending on your budget. You will be satisfied. I guarantee you, you will be satisfied whether you've taken the low budget. You will still receive service and being taken care of the right way, because the service is still the same. If you've booked full board, you will have your breakfast, you will have a starter, you have your, you have your breakfast, you have your lunch, you have your dinner, you will have your juices, you will have your water, just like someone in the luxury. So I think just because that's where your budget fits, it still gives you the satisfaction, because it still goes back to one. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, Millie, Millie, before we let you go, and Karen, of course, in a few minutes that we're left with, just sharing with us, the person who's watching, especially the women out there who would love to tap into this industry and make a mark in the hospitality business.
Like, I think what I can tell them is be a go-getter, don't fear, be like, we have so many lady tour guides out there, they're driving those manual cars, they're going out taking clients on their experiences. So like, don't hold back. If you want something, go for it. There are so many opportunities that comes out every year. Like for example, nowadays we have rangers who are in the park, who are always advertisers for this position. So whenever you see something, don't hold back and be like, oh, maybe this is for the gents. Go out there, try, never know. Just go push yourself don't limit yourself on anything. So that is what I can tell them. Don't hold back and be like, I can't guide, I can't drive a car, I can't go to the parks to take care of the animals. There are so many ladies out there doing those jobs, so never limit yourself on anything. That is what I can tell them.
Amazing. Well, Karen, before we let you go, something that you would love to share with the woman watching and who wants to make a mark in the hospitality industry, or maybe as they enjoy this Monday, maybe an inspiration for them to have a beautiful week. Okay.
To every woman out there, I would encourage you to be open, firstly to learning. Learn all you can. When I first joined, I only knew what was in my department as finance, but as our CEO always tells us, Amos, he always tells us, learn everything. Do not hold yourself to what you only studied. Be okay to learn. Learn from everyone. So when you learn, it opens opportunities. Like, I know if I can't do Millie's job because I've learned what she does. So that opens up. So be open to learning. The other thing, as Millie said, could add to that, do not be afraid. You have a potential inside you to do anything that God created you to do. When God created you, He gave you a potential inside you. And there's nothing in you that can enable you to do things. First thing, believe in yourself. I know so many people would say, you hear voices, but close out voices that tell you that you cannot. You can. And the hospitality industry is wide. You can tap into, you can be a chef, you can be, women cook. Like, I always tell my sisters at home that cooking is one of the skills every family gives you for free. Like, it's one thing, we only just upgrade it. But if you took your cooking and upgraded it, you could tap into the industry. You get, like at home, your mother will teach you the basics, but just a small addition into how you cook, how you do it, just upgrades it into maybe the way you used to do the chips into now a French fry. It's different. You can use that to tap into the industry. So you have everything. Any skill that you have, don't fear. That can help you get into these spaces. Yeah, for me.
Okay,
that's
beautiful. It's been a great episode. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you, every woman, wherever you are in the various fields. Each and every single morning, you step out to inspire, you step out to do great and wonderful things. We salute you, nurturing the young children out there, paving a way for them, for the next generation. We do appreciate you as a national broadcaster. We tend to do this every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from the hour of 10 a.m. up to 11 a.m. Looking forward to spending more time with you. That is tomorrow, same time, same place. My name is Sandra Kahunde, and happy to have spent time with these beautiful ladies. Amelie, thank you for making time. Karen, thank you for making time. Greetings to the CEO who is watching. Follow the socials and get to know more about Great Safaris. It's been a pleasure. Lots of programs lined up for you to enjoy your Monday and a great week for you. Thank you for watching. God bless you.